Off to the races. See if this connects. Okay, I'm kind of exhausted today. Just got finished teaching class. I teach a comics class at Montgomery College. So just got home a little tired. But I am trying to finish this piece for Kineticon. So we'll see how far I can get. Here is the full thing. So this is the foreground and Leopardon and the Vulture mech kaiju thing is going to be in the background. So this is my take on Leopardon. It's kind of a definitely Hajime Kotoki inspired in terms of proportions, because I'm a big fan of the way Hajime Kotoki proportions his mechs, although there's no skirt armor, which I might address here, because I feel like Leopardon without skirt armor looks a little bit weird. But again, I'm a huge Hajime Kotoki fan, so like it's weird to see a mech without skirt armor. It's because I'm a big Gundam nerd, you guys. So, well, let's see. I think even the Temjin had... Did the Temjin have skirt armor? I'm going to look up the Temjin just a second. Images... Temjin... The Temjin is from... Oh gosh, I don't even remember. Nope, the Temjin did not have skirt armor. Oh, the Temjin is from Virtual On, which was a robot fighting game that Hajime Kotoki designed the mechs for. So I will leave out the skirt armor. Leopardon has a leopard on his backpack, so I'm gonna go kind of like the Voltron Lions design kind of aesthetic here. And I'm gonna try to make posters of this if I get this done on time. Probably not gonna color it all the way, just lay out the basic shades. And try to color it middle of the week so I can put it in order and get posters made. This is gonna be 24 by 36, so like movie poster size. So we'll see if I can move any of them before Disney says you can't. Like a lot of people know who Leopardon is. So, and this is my typical inking style, so it's really fussy, overly precise, kind of taking way too much time. I did the layouts for this and penciled most of this last night while I was watching the Netflix series Glow, which is loosely based on the Glorious Ladies of Wrestling, which was a all ladies league in the 80s. And if you had cable TV, you could probably watch it. But we didn't have cable TV, so I could only hear about Glow from my friends or see it at friends' houses. We would go over to visit. Now that I'm older, we still don't have cable TV, so there you go. We got Netflix. And so this poster is sort of my take on the Spiderman Homecoming movie if it were set in Tokusatsu world. So Spider-Man is the Japanese version, and Vulture, well, I did my best Michael Keaton. I'm really bad at likenesses, but I think it did an okay job this time around. And Spider-Man's final boss fight is with a giant Vulture mech there, so because that's what I would want to see. In general, I want to see Japanese Spider-Man on the big screen, but I know it's not going to happen, so this is the next best thing. Spider-Man! And I'm going to Kineticon, so I will be bringing some of these with me, and I'll see if they move. I'm trying a lot of different things this year. I'm trying to do more shirts, more posters, some fan art here and there, just to see what moves. I feel like I've been kind of in a slump lately, and so I'm trying to dig myself out of it. I don't really do a lot of fan art, just because I have the, I guess, futile hope that my original work is good enough for people to want to buy it, which is why I made those weird shirts that I'm currently working on producing. I'm almost ready to launch those officially. I've got some photos that I need to take of the shirts in action, and then I will do an official launch and bug the shit out of everybody I know. Buy my shirt, buy my shirt, buy my shirt. I'll have some discount codes up for people who have subscribed to my mailing list. So if you go to monstercutie.com and subscribe to the mailing list, you'll get a nice discount code when it comes time to announce the shirts proper. And in general, the mailing list, every time I put up a new product in the store or a new line of products, I usually send out a discount code that's good for usually 2 weeks, which is probably longer than I should, but I like to give people the chance to buy stuff. So yeah, if you sign up for the mailing list, I don't bombard it too often, so you don't have to worry about getting too much spam. But you will be getting messages anytime I make some stuff. So there you go. That doesn't quite fit. Alright, so being a little bit more fussier than normal with the proportions because it's a mech, so I want it to feel like it's grounded in some sort of proportional reality. So like I said, Hajime Katoki is my favorite Gundam designer, and I like the way he proportions heads to bodies. They usually are a little bit smaller. The faces of his Gundams tend to be a little bit more compact, I guess, with like a slightly bigger helmet. So I tried to reflect that in my Leopardon head right there. And then I added some detailing that I think is slightly different than the original design, but recognizable enough so that Leopardon fans will see it and be like, holy shit, that's Leopardon, I must have that poster, oh my god. Basically, I'm making this poster for me, and if there are enough nerds like me out there, we'll see. You know, they always say, make stuff that you would want to buy, and this is something that I would want to buy. But as I have discovered more often than not, my tastes run counter to mainstream, so that's not quite right. That feels right. So it's not technically correct. Ooh, that's way out of proportion. I'll erase that. And let's see what I've got going on here. So that lines up there. Let me see if I draw a line down the center. Okay, line up with that line. Ooh, that's way off. Okay. Then continue this line down the center. And then we have this one, and then we have this one. Okay, well that's technically accurate, so let's draw it in parallel. Make it all nice and straight. I want to give it a little bit of I feel like it should have a slight angle to it. Leopardon's sword doesn't really have a fuller to it because it's a giant metal whacking thing, and it doesn't need a fuller because you don't need to take weight off it because it's a giant mech. I feel like there should be some design in there, but I'm gonna wait for that. Wait to dump that in there. Okay, so Wurdest du Feuer können? If you hear a lot of clicking, that's my keyboard. I've got a, let's see, what is this? It's a Logitech. I've got a Logitech gaming keyboard because I like the feel of the tenkeyless keys. But it also, I've got all my shortcuts on I got all my favorite shortcuts memorized in Photoshop. And there are a handful of buttons on the side of this Cintiq, but I usually have to put like tape to label them and remember what they are, and it changes for every program, whereas if I have the keyboard, I know where everything is here, so it's all set and I don't have to like mess with it and figure it out. So it makes my life slightly easier. I've tried like a one-handed keyboard kind of deal, like a programmable keyboard, but since the drivers aren't set up for Mac, every once in a while it would freak out on me and the shift key would remain down for some reason, or like the option key would remain down, like one of the keys would stick, and then I'd be screwed because I'd have to, you know, pick all my tools manually, and then I couldn't save anything because the shift key was down permanently. So I mean, I could save, but it would always save as, and I didn't necessarily want to create a new file every time I saved, so I always had to restart. And then I tried it like a keyboard hack where you could disable certain keys, and then I mapped the shift key from the left to the right, and it was more trouble than it was worth. So I got this wired keyboard. Oh, I tried a wireless keyboard, and that did the same thing, and I tried a Mac Ally keyboard, which strangely didn't have the command button, and the same thing, like the shift key would wig out on me. So I invested in like a Logitech gaming keyboard, and lo and behold, everything works great. The drivers work great with it. I like the feel of the keys. Makes me feel like I'm actually pressing something. So I don't know if you need that kind of thing, especially if you're good with the hot buttons on the hotkeys on the surface of your Cintiq. But if you're looking for a peripheral or like a keyboard to help you work a little bit faster, highly recommend doing research and looking into some of the gaming peripherals, because they make quality stuff that's meant to last and just feels good. That was a long way of saying, that's a long way of explaining what the noise is when you hear me clicking. Click, click, clickety click. So Glow is really fun. I think I'm a wrestling fan, so I'm a little bit biased, but I think it's pretty good for people who aren't wrestling fans, from what I understand. So I think the drama and the storytelling is really good. It's a lot of fun, and I couldn't stop watching it, clearly. Also, I needed to finish this, so the deadline crunch mixed with a fun show made it really easy to binge watch in one sitting. I do not recommend that, but it is possible if you're stupid and crazy, like I am, apparently. Like, I think there are enough nods to for wrestling fans, of course, but like, I think there's enough in there for non-fans to get into it. And if you're a fan of Alison Brie, she's really good in this. I never watched Community, so I don't know her from that. I just know her character Trudy from Mad Men, and I always found her a little bit annoying, but that was her character, I think. And she's kind of annoying in this too, but like in an endearing way. And she's a very flawed character, which is great to see. But you know, you ultimately feel for her. And if you're new to wrestling, I think she's a really good viewpoint character. You know, she does a lot of studying, and through her we learn some of the generic terms that a lot of us fans know. So I think she makes a great introduction into the world of wrestling. And I think there's an actual documentary on Glow. So I think I'm going to watch that at some point as well, because I never got to see it when it was on. Alright, so I've this little tool up here is my lazy mouse. And I should... Why is it not working? Okay, should be working now. Nope, it's not working. Turn it off, turn it back on. Alright, well, my lazy mouse is not working, which makes life a lot more difficult, especially for these long sections here. So the best way to do that is to swipe quickly and hope that you get the line that you're looking for. What I generally try to do is look in the direction I want to go. So I focus my eye here, start way back here, and then boom, try to hit it. And I kind of hit it. So it really sucks that I drew that X there. So start where you want to start, aim, and then go. That's not it. Aim where you go. That's not it. That's not it. There we go. Okay. And some of this panel lining I want to do when my lazy mouse is unfucked. So I'm going to have to take a look at and see what's going on there. Same thing. I'm going to start from down here instead and look over here. It's easier for me to swipe left to right rather than right to left because of the way my elbow hinges, and I'm using my right hand, so it would be different if I was going the other way. That one turned out really good. And then bam. Oops. Bam. So that's how I draw smooth, straight lines if my lazy mouse is not on. You look to where you want to end up. At least that works for me. And that didn't quite line up. So we erase this one. Follow that line. Do that there. This knee gimmick is definitely inspired by Gundam kits. They usually have a little joint here, but it doesn't necessarily dig into the thigh unit that way. I just drew it that way just because I felt like it. This cutout would kind of make a weak joint, actually. Because it's not flush. Round this out a little bit. And then I think I want to do the same down here. So the way these joints would actually work, it would be, so here's the leg. This is from the side view. And then here's the shin guard. Then in between would be something like this. So it'd be a double joint here. Or maybe like a joint down here. Anyway, this would be kind of hidden with a hinge. And I guess it would work to the front, maybe. Like that kind of thing. Well, let's cut it out. Let's cut it out. I've convinced myself to cut it out. Any chance to throw more detail into a part of a composition that's going to be faded into the background? Let's take it. Who doesn't love added detail? Notice a lot of times I'll draw through an object or past a line just to make sure that the line is the same. Whoops, the line is the same thickness all the way across. Saving takes a while because this is a huge file. So we erase here. And then over here, let's round this out a little bit. Let's round this out a little bit. Round you out a little bit. And we'll do the same over here. Well, you can't really round this out. Just kind of dig that in. Okay. Oops. Don't want that layer on. The other great thing about Glow is the soundtrack. So if you like 80s music, you will be sucked in. Takes me back to listening to the radio and all the terrible music that we had. It's not so terrible. But if you didn't grow up in the 80s, you might not be nostalgic for it. So. Who likes knee joints? We like knee joints. Then we get this thing. Maybe if I restart my oops. Maybe if I restart my lazy mouse thing, it'll work again. Alright, lazy stylus, let's see if you work. Turn you on, full position. There we go, that's what I was looking for. Alright, I'll get back to you later. Right now I gotta finish this area. So I'm not trying to intentionally Liefeld this by skimping on the leg, but it's going to be in motion, so I'm trying to figure out how I want to depict that. Like, I don't know, the foreshortening would determine like this is this way and this is over here, and there's that. It's all fussy, man. I have the lazy mouse again. Let me use it. Oops. Problem with the lazy mouse is it works for all your applications. So, gotta be careful. Oof. I'm gonna turn it off. This is not working out. Okay, let me fix this. Alright, let's try it again. Turn down the max radius. Alright. Okay, I can work with that. Change Leopardon, go! Even with panel lines and lazy mouse on, I still look to where I'm going. Then he has these weird thigh fins. I guess because Leopardon is a, he first enters as Marveler, as the Marveler. The Marveler is a spaceship. And then when Spiderman says, change Leopardon, he changes into the mech form. I don't know what the Japanese generic term for giant robot is, because so in American Power Rangers we call them Zords, which is easy. In Japanese Super Sentai they use the honorific O as in king. So for Gokaiger it's the Gokai O, like the Gokai king. And I don't know if that's the generic name for giant robot king. I don't know. I'll have to ask some of my nerdier Tokusatsu fan friends. It'd be cool if I knew what that term was. Gokaiger, by the way, is one of my favorite Super Sentai shows. You should go check it out if you can. They are pirates. So if you like pirates, that's right up your alley. If you don't like pirates, I don't know what to do for you. But the neat thing about the Gokaigers is that they seek the greatest treasure in the universe, and in order to do that, they borrow the powers from the previous Super Sentai teams. So they use their transformation device is called a Ranger key, and they have key sets from all the previous incarnations of Super Sentai, And the neat thing about that show is that they actually got the original actors from the original series to come back to make cameo appearances. So I got to see a lot of teams that I had seen before and some that I'd never seen before, because I'm not that I haven't gone too deep into the history of Super Sentai, so there were a lot of teams that I didn't recognize. But it was cool that, you know, that those actors are still willing to come back and participate, because it's not like that with with Kamen Rider. Not for some reason, not, you know, the previous writers don't all have that affinity for the show. Kamen Rider Kuga in particular is famously known for not wanting anything to do with Kamen Rider ever again. It's just like, why? Kuga was awesome. But yeah, Gokaiger's awesome. The lead ranger, the guy in red, is named Captain Marvelous. And he is amazing, as you would expect someone named Marvelous to be. If I could pull it off, if I thought I could pull it off, I would cosplay as Marvelous in real life. Gokai change. The interesting thing about Japanese Spider-Man is that he's technically part of the Kamen Rider Super Sentai world. There's an episode of Kamen Rider V3 where they explain the various areas of the world that are being protected by various heroes, and Spider-Man gets a name check. So it's like there's a history of Marvel Comics and Super Sentai and Kamen Rider all wrapped up into one. They're all kind of related to each other somehow in the past, which is really fun for tokusatsu nerds like me and Marvel nerds like me, if you're both. Ooh, that's a bad tangent. Tangent janai. Maybe I truncate it. It's a little better. So in Marveler form, the leopard head is sort of like the cockpit. In Leopardon form, the leopard head becomes the backpack. So that's where the leopard head goes when the Marveler transforms into Leopardon. The way it's spelled makes me want to call it Leopardon, but the way Spider-Man calls his name, he says Leopardon, so and Leopardon makes an appearance in the Marvel Comics. There was like a huge Spider-Man crossover where they include like every incarnation of Spider-Man, including some that haven't been created yet, and some that had, including Japanese Spider-Man. And all of his dialogue was translated from the Japanese, which is really funny. But Leopardon got punked, which pissed me off. It's like, you did Leopardon wrong, Marvel. You did the emissary from hell, the emissary of hell, wrong. I was very upset. And I protested by not buying the issue. I was like, yay, Leopardon's in there. Oh no, he gets punked out. Well, fuck that. I want to see Leopardon kick some ass. And for fuck's sake, he's a goddamn leopard robot. That's badass. Nope, I think he gets kicked. His arm gets kicked off, and I was like, fuck this noise. So in my version of the upcoming Spider-Man Homecoming movie, Spider-Man is the emissary of hell. And he doesn't, and the final fight isn't between him and Vulture, it's between Leopardon and Vulture. Oh! So that is what I have depicted here. Because this is the way the movie exists in my brain. Birdman-Oh. Oh! I kind of love that Michael Keaton is just like, fuck it, I'm gonna play Birdman. So my version of the Vulture mech is a lot more curvy than the Leopardon. I wanted to have more curves, sort of like how Saku from Mobile Suit Gundam has more round shapes, which actually make it a lot cuter when it's in super deformation form, when you have like the big head and the small body. I find that the Chibi Zakus are way cuter than the Chibi RX-78. So Sig Xeon for Sig SD Xeon. But I wanted to echo that aesthetic. So Birdman-Oh is made up of a lot of curves and protrusions. So it's got sort of a spiky organic look, more along the lines of Garo than traditional Gundam Xeon mobile suit. No mono eye, kind of a beak, like almost a giant Makai Knight feel is what I was going for. And I'm just gonna spew out more words no one understands because fuck it. But that's the intent behind my version of this final fight. That won't occur because I don't think that they're gonna have giant mechs in this iteration of Spider-Man. To their detriment, of course. And I think I'm gonna go for the limited palette style shading. similar to like a Mondo poster or the like. This is not going to be screen printed though, because I think I'm already using too many colors just in the flats for Vulture and Spider-Man. So, but I want to echo that look. So I may cut down the shading. I don't know. I may cut down on the number of colors just to see if I can do it with a limited palette. But we'll see. My goal for tonight is to get this all inked and flatted. And then I can worry about colors, like the actual shading later. I mean, of course, my dream gig would be able to do this for real, like drawing weird ass posters for actual releases, or you know, if Marvel ever does like a Super Sentai week or Super Sentai month or Tokusatsu month with their covers, I would love to be able to do like a Tokusatsu version of, you know, all their characters. Might end up doing that anyway. But it would be awesome to be able to do that for like an official Marvel something. You know what they say, show the work that you want to do. And you know, maybe that's the way I should look at doing fan art. Like, maybe I could parlay it into an actual gig. I wonder who owns the rights to Japanese Spider-Man, because it's a Toei production. So does Toei own the rights to that? Or do those rights revert back to Marvel because they have Disney money now? But like Sony still owns the movie? I don't know, man. When you get into the weeds of who owns what from what studio, it gets real damn confusing. I'm pretty excited about the new Spider-Man movie, but I have to be honest, I think the trailers are getting a little crazy now. I understand they want to show all the stuff to make people excited, but like honestly, they had us in Avengers with Tom Holland. Like, anyone who saw him in that movie was like, "Oh, that's Peter Parker." It's gonna be a fun movie, I think. Now I have the Gato theme song stuck in my head. Which one? The one where they just yell his name. Gato! I have to admit, I was late to the Gato party, but I am definitely a fan. I haven't watched all of the original series, but I need to go back someday and just do a Gato dive. The problem with watching tokusatsu is that since I don't speak Japanese, I gotta pay attention to what I'm drawing, and or pay attention to the dialogue and stuff. I usually prefer having something on in the background that I can half pay attention to. But I can't do that when it's Japanese. I have to read the subtitles to understand what's going on. I mean, technically not so much, because like Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, you can pretty much guess. Like, you know who the bad guys are. And you know someone's gonna get a rider kick in the face. But, you know, sometimes there are nuances that you just have to understand to get the full impact of why somebody's crying. Why are there emotions in your Kamen Rider? You have to know. So you have to read the subtitles. I don't want that hook there. Let's see. Sometimes I just draw lines, man. Sometimes they go where I want them to go. Most oftentimes they're just... I tend to draw a lot of these joints, I guess. It's from it's holdover from Gundam modeling. You see a lot of those things at joints and those types of areas. So makes its way whenever I draw a mech or a robot inspired something. More claws, more claws, more claws. Everybody likes claws. And let's zoom out just a little bit, just to see if it's all working together. I think it is. Oh, I had some viewers come in and then they left. I gotta learn how to do this Twitch thing. Hello, new viewers. I see you. But I don't know your names because I don't think I have this set up correctly. So I'm sorry. I'm pretty new to Twitch streaming. I've barely figured out how to get this going. So I apologize if this is not to the quality that you're accustomed to. More claws, more claws. Everybody likes claws. That kind of looks like a Garo inspired mech robot demon vulture, I'd say. And I did do some skirt armor for the vulture because I wanted to emulate the tail feathers. I didn't do the skirt armor for the Leopardon because I thought he looked okay without them. Or she. Because it doesn't really have a gender. No. Okay. Alright, lazy mouse, do your trick. I don't know why they don't build in the lazy mouse into Photoshop, because it's such a useful tool. It seems asinine to have to get a third-party tool to make it work. Manga Studio has lazy mouse capability. Maybe I just don't, maybe it is built into Photoshop and I don't see it, but I've been using Photoshop for quite some time and I do not recall seeing lazy mouse anywhere in there. So if I'm incorrect, you know, I apologize, but I don't understand why it's not just built into Photoshop. It would make everybody's life so much easier. And some of these cuts are intended to mimic the vulture feathers, but not exactly. It's more creating a silhouette than anything else. I think I'll just knock this out because this is intended to be sort of a cutaway, like a oops. And the reason why we're getting cut off here and down there is because this is meant to be as part of a bigger composition. So I'm zooming back out. And so this is what the final piece is going to look like with Leopardon and the Vulture mech fighting each other in the background. So I'm drawing in details that are going to get covered up. Hello, circle. Everybody loves circles. Okay, doke. More lazy mouse. Some extra lazy mouse on the leg. Some lazy mouse over here. Some lazy mouse up in this motherfucker. Oops, not so good. Oops, not so good. Oops, not so good. There we go. Somewhat good. Position pull, okay. I think that area actually gets hidden by Spiderman, but who cares? I'll know it's there, and anyone who watches this stream will know it's there, so it's important. And sometimes you don't need it. There you go. Okay. More skirt stuff. doesn't make any sense, but I'm gonna put it in here anyway. Shit. Oops. Don't worry, I saw that type of venting on a Shinanju. It's fine. It's fine. It works. It's fine. What does that vent do? Shut up. Anaheim Electronics put it in there for a reason, you asshole. Okay, more lazy mouse. Whew. So sometimes when I watch my daughter Hazel draw things, she'll hold her breath as she's drawing a line, and it always made me chuckle a little bit because I was like, who does that? And just now I do that. So maybe it's genetic, or maybe she's watched me draw enough times that she thinks that's how it works, and it's not intentional. It's just one of those things that happens when you draw. Like if you're like sometimes if I'm drawing faces, I will make the face that I'm drawing just like to reassure my hand that my brain knows what that expression is supposed to look like. I guess it's like one of those subconscious reactions, like people who play video games who do this with the controller. Tangents happen in real life. Why is this one pissing me off so much? There we go. That's better. Okay, I don't know what that shape is, but it works. again, holding my breath. No fucking reason. This looks like it could be in the Garo universe. Garo! Oh my god. It would be really cool to draw all the Marvel heroes as Makai Knights. I guess Magic is technically a Makai Knight. Maybe? I don't know. She could be a Makai Knight. Who's to say Magic's domain isn't Makai? Makai Hoshi. Save, 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 save. Bicep armor is very important, guys. Sun's out, guns out. You don't want your biceps to get sunburned. So you hide it in overly complex armor. this chest area, this under chest area is straight up like Shinanju Xeon command vehicle, command mobile suit inspired. Like the Sazabi or the Shinanju. Or the Kshatriya. Any one of those nice little mobile suits. So it's like a half Garo, half Xeon. All Vulture. Now I want to kit bash it. Like put together a model kit. Like I have time. Okay. All this detail for something that's going to be hidden or at least faded out into the background. But I'm crazy. So I actually could model it in ZBrush and then get a print of it, which might be interesting. I would be doing a lot of design on the fly since we're just seeing the back part, and I basically hacked this together from random bits and bobs. But it would be a fun exercise in hard surface modeling. You know. If anyone has a desire to see my Vulture-Oh as a, or am I calling it Birdman-Oh? Birdman-Oh as a model kit or resin kit, please drop a note in the comments and I will consider it. That is also a thing I would like to do, is get into do more figures and collectibles. I've done the Monster Cutie skull, but I don't think I'm doing a good job of marketing it. So I would like to do more stuff of that nature and sell it. Make it move, because it's no good to have something if it's not moving. These are the wings, but they're at a weird angle, so they don't look like wings. They look like messed up fin funnels. For all you RX-93 fans out there, I need to learn how to draw ovals, folks. This is fucking pathetic. There we go. Now I actively have to remind myself to fucking breathe when I do these lines. Doctor, how did he faint? He forgot to breathe while drawing. What an idiot. Okay. Man, so when you have a 3-year-old, they like to listen to the same music over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And that repetition gets blasted into your brain. So I've got the Gaston song in my head and I can't get it out. No one's as toxic as Gaston. And that's where the rhyme ends. There's a Gundam that has weird ass wings like this. It's the like Freedom or something. Oops, Freedom or something like that. I don't know. I never watched that one. I used to say I'm a Universal Century purist, but then Iron-Blooded Orphans came along, and holy shit. That show is amazing. That show gives no fucks. Like, I would be happy if that's Gundam for the next couple years. Because that show is amazing. I still need to catch up, like I do with all of my tokusatsu and anime, but man, Iron-Blooded Orphans, what a fun surprise. You know, I first saw the suit and I was like, that doesn't... You know, like most people. But if there's anything I've learned from years of tokusatsu fandom is that, like, wait until you see the suit in action. And holy shit. The Barbatos. The Barbatos is friggin' intense. It's one of my favorite designs now. It's just so vicious, so lean. The lines are just so ready to slice you in half. It's such a satisfying show. With all its twists and turns and even all the character deaths. Like, Kill 'Em All Tomino is back, man, with a friggin' vengeance. But it's so great. It's so great. Yes, that's this week's recommendations. Iron-Blooded Orphans, Garo, and Glow. It's the kind of channel I'm running, folks. Weird-ass Japanese shit and wrestling. And sometimes the weird-ass Japanese shit is wrestling. Ooh, this looks like a job for Lazy Mouse. Oh no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Well, okay, this line won't go all the way up then. Alright, that works. Okay, so skull cap here. Vultures are bold. Bald, not bold. Vultures are bald. So here's a fun trick if you want to denote size, that something is bigger in proportion to what it normally might be. Like if you want to make this mech seem bigger, give it smaller eyes. That always makes something look bigger. If it's got small, tiny eyes, makes it feel like it's huge. My hand's actually falling off, so I think after I ink this stuff, I'm gonna stop. I think I got a lot done though. Taking my time with this because I want it to look good. I like how these plates interconnect with each other. That's going to be fun to toss in some highlights. Oh, the other reason I'm tired, I've been painting all day. I freelance at a place called Stories Incorporated, and they have been wanting to put some wall art in the new office. So I spent most of today painting a weird mural. If you follow me on Twitter or check out my Instagram, you can see what I did for today. Instagram is jamienoguchi.com. Or Jamie.com. God, I'm tired. My Instagram handle is just Jamie Noguchi. And my Twitter handle is Angry Zen Master, which I stole from my brother. But you can see what I did with the mural, and I'm gonna finish it off on Wednesday. Tomorrow I'm doing a quick photo shoot for my t-shirt, one of my t-shirt designs, and then hopefully by the end of the week I'll send that out to the list, the mailing list, and get that all set up and done so people can get their sloths and their Shark Tank bears and wear them proud, display them proudly so that people will ask them, where did you get that awesome shirt? And you can point them to monstercutie.com. Easy enough to remember, I think. I don't think vultures actually have necks that look like this, but I thought it looked cool, so I'm gonna draw it like that. Question number 1. Do it look cool? Maybe. Question number 2. Can you fill it with black? Maybe. Oops. There you go. Alright, turn off the sketch layer. That looks like fun. And there we go. Oof. All right, I'm gonna stop for now. I'm exhausted. It's been a long day. Thank you for tuning in wherever you see this, probably on my YouTube channel, because I don't get a lot of activity here on Twitch. If you have suggestions, please help me figure out how to do this thing. I'm struggling here. So thanks for watching, and I'll check you again next time. Bye.